Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here, back again with another episode of my Hartford Brothers Franchise Mode series right here on NHL 18. You already know the deal. It's the same intro every damn time because I'm just not that creative. Anyway, today we continue on through this season, the 2024-2025 season. It's currently February 9th. We find ourselves in second place in the Central Division, behind the Winnipeg Jets, who we're definitely not going to catch. So the goal of this episode is to finish in second place in this division and hopefully have home ice advantage against the St. Louis Blues. Now, we left the last episode with the question of who do we get rid of, what do we do with the fourth line, and after looking at all the feedback, we decided to go ahead and get rid of William Karlsson, and it took me a while to trade him. So, yeah, I just went ahead and did that off screen. We got nothing back for him. A couple of fourths. I think the other picks were their fifth and a sixth, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't get much back for him. But I will say, it did make sense to get rid of him at this point in time, because one of the things that's kind of an issue is, of course, having to keep players happy if they're playing on a line lower than where they should be, which as it stands now, with how the third and fourth lines are set up, there's only one forward we have to worry about, that being Phil Quick, and one defenseman that we have to worry about, that being Adam Larsson. I'm still a little bit surprised that I just willingly picked up Adam Larsson, especially with how the Swedish Nation United went. But he's on this team, he's doing fairly well, and of course that's another big reason as to why I don't get somebody better than Casey Ribeiro. Although I did just remember something. We changed a couple of player types. That would be Nathan MacKinnon from a playmaker to a sniper, Nolan Patrick from a sniper to a playmaker, and on the fourth line, Henrik Oberg and Tony Andrews both switched to a two-way. Of course, Oberg was a grinder, Andrews was a sniper. It better fits their current attributes. And on defense, I believe, Provorov was switched back to a two-way. But again, with Casey Ribeiro, who was actually switched to a defensive D-man, it makes sense to keep him. He still has potential, 22 years old, still has a really good potential. So the hope is that he can get a little bit better, although it's not looking too good. But again, if we find somebody else, the style of Adam, the player role, not the style, but the player role, similar to Adam Larsson being a top four player, we have to take away the power play time for either Appleby, Tuzolino, or Harkins. That's not going to happen. As it is, I didn't exactly want to take Ivan Provorov off of the power play. Anyway, I think we're good. You're all caught up. Let's keep simming, shall we? We'll take it a week at a time in case this goes terribly leading up to the trade deadline. And if it does, well, then perhaps we'll make some more moves. But I hope that's not the case. We beat the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-1 to make it 3 straight wins, only for Malcolm Subban to go down to injury. It's only for a couple of days, but still, that is unfortunate. And because it's only for a few days, I'm actually just going to call up Worrell, and that way we don't have to change anything with the AHL lineups. We can just go ahead and set up Tony Worrell to be the backup to Jyrki Petrolainen, who again is an 88 overall. What a monster. What a beast. We get a waiver claim option on Eric Cornell, 77 overall, expiring deal, currently a fourth line player. 28 years old. I mean, in fairness, he's decent enough player. We were able to free up a roster spot by trading William Karlsson. Good face-off man, too. I'll hold off because he would have to take away. Then again, maybe I should have. He would take away a roster spot from somebody at the AHL level, more than likely somebody like Bob Menard. But we kind of want Bob Menard to play. So yeah, I guess we're good. Of course, Oberg was called up, so that's why Menard's into the lineup now. But again, you could argue. I gotta stop doing that. I try to limit the ums and the ahs, and unfortunately, I find myself relying on "but again" and again just to, really have that emphasis. I don't know, I've taken a lot of notice of my speech pattern, which I guess you will when you've made 700 to 800 videos, whatever the hell it's been. You think I can keep track of how many videos I've made? I literally can. There's an option on my channel to do so. I just haven't checked, because it's more interesting to know and to just look randomly one day and be like, oh, 900 videos. Cool. That's neat, I guess. as opposed to just keeping track. Like, okay, this is video number 756. I'm rambling again. I'm sorry. That's okay. I think you're used to it by now. You might not be used to me rambling about speech patterns and how many videos I've made, but again, that's the joy. See, I did it again. So many agains. That's the joy of editing so many videos, is you notice these speech patterns, and it sucks, especially too when you're recording, and you can just hear yourself saying the same thing over and over and over again. Anyway, the end of the last 2 weeks here, we've done fairly well for ourselves, have we not? 5-2 record, up to 37 wins on the season. We will go ahead and sim directly up to deadline day, and at that point we'll see if there's really anything we can do with the team. We beat the Dallas Stars 3-2, lose to Chicago 5-1. Big game here against the Florida Panthers. They're a great team. We lose in a shootout, but we do get the pity point, which I am okay with. It's amazing. I mean, obviously, my love for Chris Rumball is well documented, but it's amazing how much he's complaining, considering he was a 65 overall. What could you possibly be complaining about? Now, the downside to what was a pretty good run for us in terms of success is that the St. Louis Blues have found their, have regained their winning, have refound their winning ways, their winning formula. Regained, refound, whatever, it's fine. Have I mentioned before? Actually, I have mentioned before. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that getting this video done, so difficult because of that construction I keep mentioning outside. Very limited time during the day to actually get this done. Thankfully, they've gone home. Did they go home, or did I choke them all out so that I'd finally have time to record this? That's for me to know, and to you, for you to not know. God, I am on my game today. Holy shit. I mean, I know, right? I know. This is going to be an all-time classic. I am on fire for this episode. Not really. As far as the lineup goes, there is concern with Jones and Radish being on that third line. There's concern with the bottom six in general. But is it going to get much better? Probably not. I mean, I guess you could say we had somebody who was better with Melker Karlsson. But I'm not really sure. I mean, here's the problem again. I did it. I hate myself so much. But that's okay. The problem with the bottom six is that we don't want to go out and sign anybody. Because next year, Rowe, Andrechuk, Avery, Stoll, Trafford, they are all going to be fighting for a spot in the bottom six. So it doesn't make sense to really go out and get anybody beyond, unless they only have 1 year left. They would be a complete rental. Although at this point in time, you have to wonder, what is the future for Max Jones and Taylor Radish? Andrews, Oberg, Connor Roberts, you could see them sticking around for a while. But Max Jones being a third-line player? No, he's not. He's just not. He has 15 points this season. He is on a good contract. Same thing with Taylor Radish. He's more of a third-liner, but even so, I would say ideally, they're both on the fourth line. So we actually have a decision to make here as to whether or not we want to just stick with this team as it currently stands, or if we want to try to find third line improvements, which I can see the frustration, and I'm sure some of you have, where, you traded Melker Karlsson and now you're saying you might need to go out and get bottom six improvements. Makes sense. I know. You know what? I think we're just going to stick with it. It's the best way. That's the best way to go about this. You can make improvements to the team all you want, but what are the odds that we find somebody who is able to drastically change the way our bottom six is performing? It did work last year, though. Last year it worked out fairly well with the acquisition of Austin Watson. Christian Dvorak, second line player. He has been frustrated with that team for the past 5 seasons. You got Brad Marchand, Jonathan Taves, Quenneville as a fourth liner. Quenneville, I mean, I'd be more comfortable with him as a third liner, to be honest. 1 year left, but again, that's the type of rental that we're looking at. And Tyrone Bodens, who, if I'm not mistaken, we had on this team at one point. The name is at least familiar, but then again, with how many players we've ended up seeing throughout the course of these series, maybe we had a Bodens at a different point in time in a different series. You got a Pozo, Nyquist. We're good. Why not? Why not just keep going with the team we have already established and hope for the best? Those reinforcements are coming next season. The bottom 6 will get better over time, as opposed to having to go out right now and acquire even better players. So we're sticking with the team that has got us to this point. If we don't win this season, I mean, we're on pace to make the playoffs, right? So that's great. Do I expect us to win even a playoff series, a single round? No, I don't. So if we do, that's great. If we don't, I'm not overly disappointed. And as it is, we've won 5 straight games and 6 out of our last 7 to begin the month of March. That brings us up to 44, 21, and 5 on the season. The Connecticut Whale at 42, 22, and 8. So I'd like to think we've regained second place in the division, and indeed we have. We are 5 points clear of the St. Louis Blues, and with 12 games to go, we are 9 points back of the Winnipeg Jets. So 5 points clear of the Blues. They are the only team that can catch us. More than likely, it's nearly a guarantee at this point. It's going to be Whalers and Blues in the first round. It's just a matter of who gets home ice advantage. So let's keep winning, shall we? And make sure that we have home ice advantage in the first round. We play Vegas, Toronto, and I think it was Washington. Casey Ribeiro was a little bit banged up, but he should be healthy in time for the Toronto game. It was, in fact, Washington. We beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-3. The Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1. Can we keep this winning streak alive? Yes, we can. My God, what a start to this season. To this month, I should say. 9-1 in the month of March so far. That is ridiculous. What a stretch of games. 47 wins now on the year. I still don't think we would have clinched a playoff spot. No, we did. It's official. It is official. We're still 9 points back of the Jets, who continue to win. They're going to be pushing for 60 wins, which is beyond scary. But we're now 7 points clear of the Blues, and things are looking pretty damn good for us in terms of securing home ice advantage. Now we have 4 games this week. They're all back to backs. We play Nashville, and then we fly back home to Hartford to play the Devils. Then we fly out to Columbus, and then come back home to play Ottawa. Who made this schedule? They're like, the Whalers won. Who cares? Screw them over at the end of the year. We finally lose our second game of the month against the Devils. That's now 2 straight losses. My God. All right. So we pick up our second and third loss of the season, only to bounce back with an 11-2 victory over the Ottawa Senators. That might be the highest scoring game I have ever seen outside of a Draft to Glory series, in which case we would have been the ones giving up 11 goals. How did that happen? 11-2 over the Sens. They have 25 wins. They're not, 2016-17 Colorado bad from the looks of it, but damn. That is ridiculous. We have 6 games left this season. Odds are we're going to break the 50-win mark. Let's go ahead and sim the next 3. Minnesota, Detroit, and a big time game against the Winnipeg Jets. We lose to Minnesota. We beat the Red Wings, and we beat Winnipeg. All right. So towards the end of the month there, some losses start to sneak in. But we rebound with a huge win against the 58-win Winnipeg Jets. Win. Let's take a look at the standings. Second place should be secured. Indeed it is. It's already confirmed. We know that we're playing the St. Louis Blues, 12 points back of the Jets. My God. Although, we may have just cost them their 60-win season. They're going to have to win the last 2 games. We'll definitely take a look at their lineup again, just to see how they've kind of progressed. Of course, we looked in the last episode, and it is surprising that they've done as well as they have. Let's go ahead and sim these last 2 games against Arizona and Chicago. Arizona, a 48-win team as well, as we end the season on a 4-game winning streak. We won 5 out of our last 6 games. The month of March was very kind to us. We finished the year at 53, 24, and 5. The Connecticut Whale with 48 wins as well. So a great season for both teams. But my God, we beat a 59-win team and a 49-win team in back-to-back games. What a way to end the season. We finished this year with a very respectable 111 points. The problem is that the Winnipeg Jets absolutely killed it this year. So let's go ahead, take a look at some point totals, kind of our regular season wrap-up before we get ready to play the Blues in the next episode. So I guess we'll just go to normal player stats first. Let's do it that way. Lucas Leidecker led the team in points with 71, 25 goals, 46 assists. Not too bad, young man. It's still ridiculous that he's only 21 years old. I think 90 overall is going to be his ceiling with 99 offensive awareness. I'm not complaining. That's pretty solid. Nathan MacKinnon with 63 points. We changed him at the beginning of this episode from a playmaker to a sniper. Even then, I mean, that's a good season. 25 goals, 38 assists. Not quite where we'd want him to be. Again, I don't feel like it's unfair to expect these two to be competing for the scoring title. To at least be top 10. Are they even top 20? I mean, is Leidecker even top 25 in scoring with just 71 points? We'll find out. But Nathan MacKinnon in particular, I would have liked a better performance out of him. Daniel Sprong with 59 points. He had 22 goals. That's not bad. Speaking of wanting a better performance out of somebody, Nolan Patrick, 16 goals, 36 assists. Not great. Phil Quick, 38 assists, 50 points. Appleby with 48 points. Harkins with 46. He had 19 goals. Dirksen hit 20 goals, 43 points. I want better from my second liners. What can I say? I think ideally he's an amazing third line player. I think that's the ideal role for him. Much like with Jones and Radish, they'd be much better suited on the fourth line. So maybe moving forward, we're going to have to experiment with playing certain players out of their preferred role. And that includes more than likely dropping Dirksen down to the third line. But as a third liner, you look at those attributes, he would be perfect. And if he can put up 40 points on the third line, which I would assume he could, I'd be very happy with that. Eric Tuzolino with 37 points, 21 goals. Provorov only 26 points, which is disappointing. I mean, granted, he is on a great contract. I'm not complaining too much. Henrik Oberg, 23 points in 50 games, so I'd say it was the right call to keep him around. Taylor Radish, only 21 points. Again, if he stays on this team, it'll be in a fourth line capacity. Adam Larson, who we picked up for the year with 21 points. We don't expect much out of him in terms of a point total, but 11 goals is very respectable. Austin Watson with 21 points. Again, more ideal to have him on the fourth line rather than the third. I think if you move our current third line to the fourth line, we'd be much better off. Max Jones with 18 points as well. Connor Roberts. By the way, this chair, I love it. Is that picking up on the microphone? I hope it is. Squeaky chair for the win. Connor Roberts only 14 points in a fourth line capacity, though. So what can you do? Same thing for Tony Andrews, 14 points in 61 games. Casey Rivera with 3 points. Kip Trafford played 2 games this year, had no points, and was a -2. For goaltending, we know that both goalies were fantastic, just fantastic this year, and Jyrki Petrolainen may have a chance at the Vezina. 936 save percentage with a 43-18-5 record. 5 shutouts on the year. Malcolm Subban, 19 appearances. He went 11-6-0. 5 shutouts with a 935 save percentage. Of course, the 936 for Petrolainen. The 185 goals against for Petrolainen. A 195 for Subban. Our goaltending was great all year long, and hopefully that continues into the postseason. Let's go ahead here and take a look at some league-wide stats, shall we? I actually wanted to look at goaltenders here. First and foremost, Petrolainen was second in wins. He did beat Hellebuck in save percentage, though. Same amount of games played. Makes me wonder, as he had the... I don't see how Petrolainen doesn't win the Vezina. The highest save percentage with the most amount of games played. He has to win the Vezina. Gavin Keith, 936, but in 7 fewer games. He also had 3 less wins, 10 shutouts. I don't see how Jyrki Petrolainen fails to win the Vezina this year. Over Calvin Pickard, over Thatcher Demko, over Connor Hellebuck. It has to be Petrolainen. If it's not, then clearly the game weighs it more towards wins. This is Jyrki Petrolainen's year. What a pickup he proved to be. Defensive point totals, Morgan Rielly with 72 points. That is ridiculous. Torrey Krug was first in goals with 23. Tuzolino and Harkins were second and third with 21 and 19 goals. Of course, we had Torrey Krug at one point. Didn't last for too long, though. Point-wise, point total-wise, John Tavares and Vladimir Tarasenko both with 99 points. Tavares did it in 1 less game. What a monster he is. 52 goals. We know how good the Islanders have been over the past few seasons, and he is a big part of the reason as to why Josh Hosang was also up there. And of course, when talking about the Winnipeg Jets and why they were amazing, Scheifele, you had Patrick Laine. It's really no surprise. I mean, man, Panarin's up there too. It is crazy how good some of these teams, or how well some of these teams are set up. But 2 players broke the 50-point or the 50-goal mark. That was Tarasenko and Tavares. And when it comes to point totals, I mentioned 71 points. How far down the list is Lydecker? And there he is, tied in points with Mikko Rantanen, 1 point ahead of German Rubtsov. It's all right, I guess. Maybe I'm being a little bit too hard on him, but you can't blame me for wanting more out of Lucas Lydecker. And when it comes to rookie scoring, Tyrone Kovalchuk. You ever met a Russian named Tyrone? 50 points. 50 points as an 81 overall. More than likely, the Calder is his, unless there's a goalie who could fight for it, which probably not. No, Yanni Allen played 70 games. He had an .892 save percentage. Colorado, what are you doing? I think that pretty much covers it, though. I think that pretty much covers it, although we can look at the point totals. So Winnipeg, the best team in the league. We were the 4th best team in the league. Beat Florida on tiebreaker. So again, what a season for us. The Islanders were in 2nd, which is crazy how good they still are. If you look at goals for per game, our offense was 7th best in the league, tied with Carolina at 2.84 goals per game. The Islanders at 3.3 goals for per game. Who can stop that offense at this point? It'll be interesting to find out. Our goals against per game, though, the best in the league. The best defense, the best goaltending. The only team who allowed under 2 goals against per game. On the flip side, you have Minnesota, who allowed just under 3.5 goals per game. The power play was top 5. Top 5 at 23.5%. Not bad, considering we've had to have Adam Larson on the power play. Our penalty kill was at 86.2%. The top PK in the league. So goaltending and special teams, yet again, played a big factor in our success this season. and fairly equal home and road record. One more win at home than on the road. So I am not exactly afraid of the Blues heading in to this postseason matchup. They had the third best penalty kill. They had a fairly solid power play as well, so they're also a special teams beast. Goals against per game, though, at 2.5. Again, we were under 2. And goals for per game, they are averaging 3 goals a game. They had the third highest goals for per game marker this season. So you have a great offense going up against great defense and goaltending. It's going to be a slugfest. The question is whether or not our weaker links on paper can find postseason success yet again. We've seen what Austin Watson, Max Jones, and players of that ilk, we've seen what they can do in the postseason. That's why we've kept them around. We need them to deliver yet again. So as we get a look at the playoff bracket, that will do it for this one. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'm sorry for the delay with the Hartford and Montreal videos. There isn't going to be a Montreal video up alongside this. That next episode should be up soon. I need to do a better job of really scheduling out my, live streams on Twitch and making sure that I have enough time to get videos done. Especially too when, as mentioned on Twitter, this damn construction work and roofing, I don't know why everyone just decided, hey, all at once, let's do this before winter hits, even though it's already snowed here, to get all this done. It starts at 6:30 in the morning. It's just a mess. But I'm doing what I can. I appreciate you guys for the patience. And if you're not patient, well, I don't know what to tell you. But there you have it. The bracket. We play the Blues in the first round. I'm looking forward to it, although I have a feeling by this time next episode, I'm not going to be in such a positive mood. If you enjoyed the episode, you know what to do to support the video and the channel. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, because why the hell not? Right? Over 7K subs. Let's go for 8. Right? Yeah, 8K, 9K, 10K even. Like I said, I'm appreciative for it, but I've always been under the mindset of, if it happens, it happens. Because I don't expect a damn thing. And that way, when something good happens, it means that much more. I'm rambling again. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Take it easy. Goodbye.